Welcome to the Missiology course. I'm Dr. Davis. I'll be your course facilitator. This will be a brief introduction and overview of the field of missiology. In this course, we will explore biblical and theological foundations. We'll explore a history of missions, culture, and worldview. We will look at some of the major world religions, look at some mission strategies and church planting in particular. And then we will look at some specialized ministries in missions like radio and MAF and other areas of specialized ministry. And then finally, in the last week of the course, you will apply your learning that you have learned, the principles and ideas. You'll apply those by writing a well-researched plan and paper on engaging an unreached people group. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Now, first of all, one of the first things you'll want to do is to read the syllabus very carefully. Note any assignments that are due. If you have any questions about the assignment, please send me an email so that I can clarify those. Then, of course, note the due dates when the assignments are due. This is an 8-week course, so it goes very quickly, and you'll want to stay on top of the assignments. And we'll also talk about that here in just a minute as well, due dates and things. There are 2 textbooks in the course. One is the Missiology textbook edited by Terry, and it was published in 2015, so be sure that you have the correct second edition of that book so that the chapters line up correctly. And then the second book is Adoniram Judson, A Bicentennial Appreciation, published in 2012, and that is a biography and a sort of a study of the life of Adoniram Judson, and you'll be doing a book critique or a book review on that. And then, of course, you'll also need the Midwestern Style Manual, and you may already have that, but if not, you can purchase that through the Midwestern Bookstore. Now, when you look in the pre-class preparations folder, you will notice that there are some tutorials that are available. There are a couple of video tutorials, one on how to do a book critique, and then there's also a grading rubric that's been provided. So if you will view the video and review the rubric, that will help you in knowing how to approach writing a good book critique, and it will just make your work more efficient, more effective, and you'll end up with a better grade because you'll know just exactly what is expected. Then there's also a video tutorial on how to do a research paper, the principles of how to do research and how to write a paper like that. And then when you look also at the assignment in the course, you'll find that there are some grading rubrics and some sample papers that will also help you in knowing what's expected and kind of how to do it. The sample papers were written by students from a previous course. They're good examples. They're not perfect. One is on a pastor track. The other is a teacher track. So pay attention to the differences in how those papers are formatted, how they're written. Particularly the teacher track, the student used good teaching methods and ideas, and so that's kind of what we're looking for with that paper. So again, some of that is in the pre-preparations class folder. Some of it is in the folders as you go through the week. All right, now another area to look at is the discussion forum. This one will be a little bit different than what you may be used to if you've had other online classes. In this course, what I want to do is to facilitate good discussion, good development of thought and discussion as you go through the week. So I have divided the class into 2 small groups, so you will have fewer students in your group that you are corresponding with, that you're discussing with. And the idea there is that you will have better discussion with fewer people than if you had 30 or 20 students that you're trying to deal with. So with that in mind, respond to the group as a group. When you're responding in your posting, don't respond to a particular individual student, respond to the group and talk to the whole group. You may identify an idea or a theme that 2 or 3 students have raised, and you may want to address that in your response so that you're talking to more than one student at a time, just like you would in a classroom setting when you're having a discussion. Ideas go back and forth and they flow, and that's kind of the idea here. You will have 2 forums each week from week 1 through 7. Week 8 does not have any forums to allow you to focus on your paper. So do both forums each week in your small group. I would encourage you strongly to post early in the week, Sunday night, Monday early. Do your first post. That allows every other student to be able to read your post, and so the discussion can get started on a good footing and early in the week. And then log in really every day or every other day at the very least. Log in frequently and read the postings and then respond with your second and third and fourth posts so that the discussion can flow back and forth. Otherwise, it's just sort of something you just have to do and there's no real discussion. So this is to be a discussion. Now, please note that the syllabus requires a minimum of 2 posts for each forum for each week. And so that is the gradable number of posts. Assuming that the posts are, pretty good, then that was going to be an average grade for the discussion forum. In order to get a higher level of grade, a B or an A, you're going to need to post more than twice. So 3, 4, 5 times with some pretty good substantive posts. Now, as you may be already thinking, well, if we're doing this back and forth class discussion, then the posts don't have to be 2 or 3 paragraphs in length. You can just put in, a good solid paragraph and let it go at that, and then come back and post later some additional thought as you've read more posts. Put in, several sentences in which you are engaging students, you are thinking about what's being talked about, you're raising new questions, and so forth. So a substantive post is going to move the discussion forward. It's not just that was a good post, what do you think about this? But it's going to raise new information, new issue, new questions, address, perhaps challenge a student carefully in Christian Grace, but, just as we would in a classroom. Let's do that. Now, also note that the discussion forums each week will go offline on Saturday night at 11:59 of the week that they are being discussed, because it's like you're sitting in an empty classroom if you're trying to post after that, nobody else is there. So what's the point? So they're going to go offline and you will not be able to post after Saturday night of that week. So that's why I say start early and get your posting in Monday, Tuesday, and build it as you go along. So there is a grading rubric that has been attached in the first week. Read that and read the rubrics, and that will help you to know what is good, excellent participation, and that's what you're wanting to shoot for. So read that, and it'll help you to understand that. We will have a reading quiz, comprehension quiz, over the missiology textbook each week. Those chapters are noted in each week's assignments. So read those carefully and then prepare for the quiz. It is an open book quiz, but the timing is short, so you won't have time to look up every answer. You need to read carefully first and be prepared to answer those questions. You will also have a witnessing experience report in which you share the gospel fully with one lost person during this term. Again, there are instructions located in week 1 on how to prepare for that. There's also a report format page that kind of gives you what I would like to see in the report. The report is due in week 4, so that's only a month that you really need to get started praying and taking opportunity to share the gospel early in the course so that you can have that submitted by week 4 or even before. Now, the syllabus has some assignments due on Friday, but in order to make it simple and clear, I'm just going to make all assignments due on Saturday night at 11:59 for the week that they are due. So everything is due Saturday night, 11:59 for that week, whichever week it is. So just keep that in mind. Assignments that are submitted after that due date will be reduced by 5% for every day that they're late, every 24-hour period. And assignments can only be accepted up through the week following the week in which they were due. So that means that following Saturday night at 11:59 would be the last chance you'd have to submit an assignment. And after that, they would get a 0. So you want to be sure to get assignments turned in early and on time. This class moves very quickly, and so you want to be staying right on top of things. Remember that the 8th week of the course ends on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. rather than Saturday. So it's a short week, that final week, the 8th week. Now, as far as contacting me, I certainly want to stay in contact with you, answer any questions you're going to have as we go along. So please use the MBTS email, which is tdavis@mbts.edu, and that's the best way for me. I can keep straight, what's going on. If you would, please include the course name that you're writing about, your name, identify the week that you're talking about or the specific assignment that you're having a question about, and that helps me to quickly figure out what I need to do or how I need to respond. So just kind of give me the information I need so that I can respond to your question. And then, of course, give me 24 to 48 hours, and I will try to get back to you. Sometimes I'm not online that much. Now, when you look at your My Grades page, the course grade that's at the top of that page, that's going to show the assignments that have been graded up to that point. So as new assignments are submitted and graded, then that's going to change that course grade. So it's kind of a running total. So if there are a number of assignments that have come in and I'm grading those and getting those turned in, you may see your grade go up or down depending on the grades that you're getting for that. Now, let me just say that I want to help you learn. I'm here to facilitate your learning as adult learners. I want you to succeed and do very well. And so I have put those tutorials and grading rubrics and sample papers, I've put all that in there to help you, to give you an idea kind of what's expected and how to go about it. So if you will read those, review those, and then that will help guide you in your work so you'll be able to do well. The other way, of course, is to make sure you're keeping up on the work, getting assignments turned in on time. If you have any questions about an assignment, what's expected, please let me know. If it's a general question, I will probably send an email to the whole class just so that everyone is understanding. And sometimes that happens. You raise a good question and I'll answer it for everybody. All right. So I look forward to working with you these 8 weeks and pray that you'll have a blessed time of learning. Missions is a vital, vital subject and something that we need to be engaging in as churches and church leaders. And so I look forward to working with you and just walking with you in this process. So God bless and have a great semester of study, great term of study.